Listen carefully. The world doesn't care about your story, your excuses, or the moments when life was unfair. The world isn't listening to your tears, it's watching your actions. That's the truth no one wants to hear. We live in an era where weakness is glorified, where complaining is disguised as being real, and where men are told it's okay to stay broken. But let me tell you something, nobody respects weakness. Nobody admires a man who gives up when life hits hard. The world only respects strength. It rewards those who keep moving when everything inside them screams to stop. You can scroll social media all day, see people crying about how life mistreated them, and the comments will be full of sympathy. But guess what? Sympathy doesn't pay your bills. Sympathy doesn't fix your body. Sympathy doesn't build your legacy. You can post 1,000 sad stories, but when the camera turns off, you're still exactly where you were, weak, stuck, and forgotten. You know who gets remembered? The man who kept going. The man who built something when no one believed in him. The man who turned his pain into fuel. You think life will slow down for your emotions. It won't. The world keeps spinning. The sun rises whether you're happy or not. The bills come whether you're motivated or not. And if you don't get up, if you don't fight back, if you don't start acting like a man of action, the world will bury you under its weight. That's how it works. The world rewards those who stand up, who face it head on, who refuse to break. Because strength is rare now, and what's rare is respected. When you walk into a room, people can feel energy. They know who's strong and who's pretending. You can't fake that presence. A strong man doesn't need to speak loudly. His posture, his eyes, his calm, they say everything. The weak man hides behind words. The strong man builds results. The world rewards the one who proves himself through action, through consistency, through resilience. And that's why you have to stop chasing sympathy. Every time you look for pity, you drain your power. Every time you tell yourself you're a victim, you hand your strength to the world and beg it for mercy. But this world doesn't have mercy, it has competition. And only the strong survive competition. Every man who made it to the top had moments when he wanted to quit. Every fighter has been beaten. Every entrepreneur has been broke. Every leader has been doubted. But they didn't fold. They didn't let their weakness define them. They used it as fire. You see, life will always test you. It will hit you with pain, failure, and betrayal. But the test isn't about what happens to you, it's about what you do after. Do you crawl into self-pity, or do you rise up and turn that pain into purpose? That's the difference between a man who's remembered and a man who's replaced. You have to decide what kind of man you want to be. The one who gets sympathy or the one who earns respect. The weak man will always have people patting him on the back, saying, "It's okay, you did your best." But that comfort is poison. It keeps you small. It keeps you numb. And one day, you'll wake up realizing that the sympathy you chased didn't build you, it broke you. The world doesn't care how you feel. It cares what you become. If you want to change your life, stop telling your story like it's a tragedy and start living like it's a comeback. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody owes you a thing. But that's the beauty of it, because once you realize that, you become unstoppable. When you stop expecting sympathy and start demanding more from yourself, everything changes. The respect, the power, the influence, they all come when you earn them through strength. And strength isn't just physical, it's mental. It's emotional. It's the ability to control your reaction when life punches you in the mouth. That's real power. Every time you choose strength over sympathy, you evolve. You become sharper, harder, and more capable. You stop waiting for validation, and you start creating your own standard. The world rewards the man who brings results, who stands tall, who becomes an example others follow. And while everyone else is busy being understood, you'll be busy being respected. That's the truth. The world rewards strength, not sympathy. Every morning when you wake up, there's a battle that starts before you even open your eyes. It's not the world versus you, it's you versus you. There's a voice inside your head whispering, "Stay in bed a little longer, you deserve it." And another voice telling you, "Get up, there's work to do." One voice offers comfort, the other demands greatness. And the truth is, the voice you choose to obey determines the kind of man you become. Weakness is not something you're born with, it's something you allow. It's a decision repeated day after day to take the easy path instead of the hard one. You see, weakness doesn't just appear overnight. It's built slowly through small choices that feel harmless. You skip the gym one day, you procrastinate on that goal, you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes, and soon you've built a habit of giving in. That's how weakness wins, not with one big defeat, but with 1,000 tiny surrenders. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you chip away at your own strength. And the scary part is, most men don't even notice it happening. They wake up one day overweight, uninspired, broke, and lost, and they blame life. But it wasn't life. It was them. It was every small decision to stay weak. You want to know why you feel unfulfilled? Because deep down, you know you're capable of more, but you're choosing less. You know you could be sharper, stronger, faster, more disciplined, but you've convinced yourself that you're tired, that it's hard, that you'll do it later. Weakness loves excuses. It feeds on them. It grows every time you justify it. You tell yourself you're resting, but you're actually retreating. You tell yourself you're being patient, but you're really being passive. That's the truth. No one wants to admit weakness is a choice disguised as comfort. You want to break that pattern. Then start making decisions that hurt. The gym hurts. Waking up early hurts. Working while others rest hurts. But every time you choose pain over comfort, you're training your mind to be strong. Because the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of weakness lasts forever. Every strong man you admire, the athlete, the businessman, the leader, he's not special. He just made choices that most people are too weak to make. He got up when he didn't want to. He worked when no one was watching. He sacrificed what was easy to build something great. And now, everyone looks at him and says, he's lucky. But luck has nothing to do with it. It's choices, consistent, painful, powerful choices. Weakness isn't your destiny. It's not your genetics. It's not your past. It's the story you keep telling yourself to feel better about not trying harder. You can change everything the moment you stop identifying as weak. The moment you say, I'm done being soft, and actually mean it. You can rewrite your story starting today, but that starts with being brutally honest. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask, am I proud of the man I'm becoming? If the answer is no, then stop lying to yourself. Weakness dies the moment honesty begins. The reason most men never escape weakness is because they defend it. They make it part of their identity. I'm just not motivated. I'm just not confident. I'm just not built for that. No, you've just chosen not to develop it. You've chosen the easier version of yourself because it doesn't demand accountability. But the easy version will never make you proud. You can't respect yourself when you know you're avoiding the harder path. That's why so many men walk around looking defeated, not because life broke them, but because they broke themselves with excuses. If you want to feel powerful, if you want confidence, if you want to command respect, then stop choosing weakness. Every time you ignore that lazy voice, you gain power. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when it's uncomfortable, you gain strength. That's how you build momentum. And soon, you realize that the strong version of you was always there, buried under years of comfort, distraction, and self-pity. But it's waiting for you to wake him up. Weakness is a choice, and so is strength. You don't need permission to change. You don't need motivation to start. You just need to decide that the man you are right now isn't the man you're meant to be. Because the second you take responsibility for your own weakness, you take back control of your life. That's when everything starts to shift. That's when you stop existing and start living with purpose. That's when you stop being the victim of your own choices and become the creator of your destiny. There's a moment in every man's life when he has to decide what kind of person he's going to be, the one who runs from responsibility or the one who carries it with pride. Because responsibility isn't a burden, it's the foundation of power. The weak man avoids it. He blames others. He hides from it. But the strong man embraces it. He understands that everything he wants in life, respect, success, love, legacy, all of it comes from taking responsibility for himself and for those who depend on him. Responsibility is not something that holds you down. It's what gives you weight, purpose, direction. A man without responsibility is a man without identity. You see, Modern society has convinced men that responsibility is stress, that freedom means doing whatever you want. But that's a lie. Real freedom doesn't come from avoiding duty. It comes from mastering it. When you take responsibility, you gain control. When you refuse it, you lose control. Think about it. When you blame others, you're saying you're powerless. You're saying life happens to you, not because of you. But when you say, everything in my life is my fault, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you stop waiting for the world to change and start changing yourself. That's when you stop being a boy and start becoming a man. Every real man knows that being responsible isn't glamorous. It's not about applause or attention. It's about doing what needs to be done even when no one notices. It's waking up early to work, making sure your family eats, handling your business, protecting your people. It's the weight that turns boys into warriors. Weak men run from responsibility because they fear failure. Strong men run toward it because they know that through failure they grow. The weight of responsibility is what forges character, builds discipline, and creates power. When you carry responsibility, you start seeing the world differently. You stop expecting people to fix things for you. You stop waiting for luck. You stop pointing fingers because you realize that the only person capable of changing your situation is you. And that's where your power lies, in ownership. Ownership of your time, your energy, your choices, your mistakes, your success. The man who owns his life is unstoppable because he has no one left to blame. Every failure becomes a lesson, every challenge becomes fuel, and every obstacle becomes an opportunity to prove his worth. People talk about wanting to be leaders, but leadership is just extreme responsibility. It's saying, if this fails, it's on me. It's saying, if my team loses, I'll take the blame. That's real strength, the kind of strength that builds empires, the kind that creates respect. Because deep down, everyone admires the man who takes charge. Everyone feels safe around the man who doesn't make excuses. That's the kind of man the world needs, not another complainer, not another victim, but a protector, a builder, a man who handles his business no matter how heavy the load gets. Responsibility sharpens your mind and hardens your spirit. It forces you to level up. When you know others depend on you, you can't afford to be lazy. You can't afford to be weak. You wake up with purpose because people are counting on you. And that pressure, that constant weight, it's what molds you into a man of value. Every great man in history was built under pressure. They didn't have the luxury to waste time complaining. They carried responsibility until it shaped them into something unbreakable. Weak men say, it's not my fault. Strong men say, it's my problem, so I'll fix it. That mindset is the difference between mediocrity and greatness. The truth is, most men today are desperate for meaning, but they run from the very thing that would give them meaning: responsibility. You'll never feel fulfilled until the people depending on you, until your word matters, until your effort changes lives. Because that's what gives you significance. A man who stands for something, who protects, provides, and leads, that man commands respect without saying a word. When you stop escaping responsibility, you start realizing how much power you've been giving away. You see that your potential was never limited by the world. It was limited by your willingness to take ownership. Responsibility teaches you discipline, humility, and courage. It breaks your ego but builds your character. It turns struggle into strength. And once you understand that, you'll never run from it again. Because the truth is simple: the heavier your responsibility, the greater your power. The man who carries the most weight becomes the man who stands the tallest. Discipline, it's the line that separates the men who dream from the men who achieve. Everyone wants success, strength, and respect, but very few are willing to build the habits required to earn them. People think motivation is what drives greatness, but motivation is fragile. It fades when life gets hard. Discipline doesn't. Discipline is the engine that keeps you moving when motivation dies. It's the voice that says, get up, when your body says, stay down. It's the thing that turns average men into unstoppable machines. Every man you admire, every champion, every billionaire, every leader, they're not superhuman. They're disciplined. That's the real secret. The problem with most people is they only act when they feel like it. They wait for the perfect mood, the right circumstances, the right time. But discipline doesn't care about feelings. Discipline doesn't wait for comfort. Discipline shows up no matter what. When it's cold, when it's raining, when you're tired, when you're angry, discipline shows up. Because real men don't move based on emotion, they move based on mission. And that's the difference. Weak men let their emotions control their actions. Strong men control their emotions through action. When you master discipline, you stop being a slave to comfort. You stop chasing temporary pleasure and start chasing permanent growth. Comfort is the trap that kills greatness. It whispers in your ear, telling you you've done enough, that you deserve to relax. But discipline has no interest in comfort. It's focused on progress. Every day you follow your routine. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when it's hard, you build a little more respect for yourself. And that self-respect is everything. You can't fake confidence. It comes from discipline. It comes from the quiet knowledge that you kept your word to yourself when no one was watching. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about power. It's the ability to control your own impulses, to choose long-term gain over short-term gratification. Every time you say no to laziness, you say yes to your future. Every time you choose the gym over the couch, you're rewriting your story. And that's the beauty of discipline. It compounds. Just like money, every act of discipline builds interest over time. You don't see the results immediately, but one day you wake up and realize you've become the kind of man people notice, not because you said you would, but because you did. Think about this, you will never rise higher than the level of your discipline. If your discipline is weak, your results will be weak. If your discipline is unshakable, your results will speak for themselves. People will look at you and wonder how you do it, how you stay consistent, how you never seem to quit. The truth is, you've built discipline into your identity. You don't negotiate with yourself anymore. You don't need motivation because you've turned discipline into habit. It's automatic. You do it because that's who you are. Every great man was shaped by discipline. Soldiers, athletes, entrepreneurs, they all have one thing in common. They do what must be done, whether they feel like it or not. They wake up before dawn. They push through fatigue. They sacrifice comfort for purpose. And while the world sleeps, they're building an empire not because they're lucky, but because they've trained their minds to obey. Discipline turns chaos into order. It turns potential into performance. It's what makes you reliable, trustworthy, and respected. People say discipline is hard, but so is regret, so is mediocrity, so is living a life where you know you could have been more but chose less. Discipline might hurt for a moment, but weakness hurts forever. Every time you choose discipline, you win a small battle against your old self. You silence that inner coward that wants the easy way out. And over time, those small wins add up to a transformation no one can ignore. You don't build discipline overnight. You build it one decision at a time. Every morning, when that alarm rings, you have a choice: the man you want to be or the man you've always been. Every meal, every workout, every project, every sacrifice, it's a test. And discipline is how you pass. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's the foundation of greatness. Without it, talent means nothing, intelligence means nothing, and potential means nothing. With it, even the most ordinary man can become extraordinary. The truth is, discipline gives you something no one else can give you: control. Control of your mind, your body, your time, your destiny. You become the kind of man who doesn't wait for opportunities. You create them. You don't hope for strength, you build it. And when people see your life, they don't see luck, they see consistency. Because discipline, once mastered, becomes the loudest form of strength. Pain is the greatest teacher life will ever give you. It's the one lesson that doesn't come from books, mentors, or speeches. It comes from the raw, unforgiving reality of experience. Pain strips away your illusions. It exposes who you truly are when everything comfortable is gone. You can pretend to be strong when life is easy, but real strength is revealed when you're broken, bleeding, and forced to fight for every inch forward. That's when you meet your real self. That's when you find out whether you're made of excuses or endurance. Every man who's achieved anything worth remembering has gone through pain. The bodybuilders who look unshakable, they built those muscles from pain. The entrepreneurs you admire, they've been broke, rejected, humiliated. The fighters who stand in the ring, they've been knocked down 100 times before they ever tasted victory. Pain is the fire that forges greatness. Without it, you stay soft, comfortable, and forgettable. Pain is not your enemy, it's your initiation. It's the test that decides if you deserve the rewards you're chasing. Most people run from pain, they numb it, avoid it, distract themselves from it. They drown it with entertainment, with comfort, with excuses. But the truth is, the more you avoid pain, the weaker you become. The less capable you are of handling life. Because pain is training. Every time life hurts you, it's preparing you for something bigger. Every loss, every failure, every heartbreak, they're not punishments, they're lessons in disguise. Pain is how life toughens you, shapes you, and builds your character into something unbreakable. You don't grow when things are easy, you grow when you're uncomfortable. You have to stop seeing pain as something to escape and start seeing it as something to embrace. When you're in pain, that's where transformation happens. Pain forces you to adapt, to rise, to evolve. It's not supposed to feel good, it's supposed to change you. Think about the gym. The muscle only grows when it's torn. The soreness you feel after pushing your limits, that's proof of progress. The same rule applies to life. Emotional pain, financial pain, mental pain, they're all forms of resistance meant to make you stronger if you let them. The problem is most people quit right before the breakthrough. They feel the heat and run away, not realizing that on the other side of that pain is power. When life hits you hard, you have two choices: crumble or conquer. You can sit there and cry about how unfair it is, or you can stand up and say, good, let's see what I'm made of. That's how warriors think. That's how champions are built. Every time you go through something painful and survive, you earn more strength, more clarity, more resilience. You begin to understand that pain doesn't break you, it builds you. It carves away your weakness and leaves only the steel behind. And once you've been through enough pain, you become dangerous because nothing can scare you anymore. Pain gives you perspective. It shows you what really matters. It teaches you to value peace because you've known chaos. It teaches you to value loyalty because you've felt betrayal. It teaches you to value strength because you've tasted weakness. That's why the strongest men are often the ones who've suffered the most. They've walked through darkness, and instead of letting it consume them, they used it to sharpen their vision. Pain gave them purpose. You can't cheat your way to strength. You can't fake experience. You have to earn it, and the currency is pain. Every scar you carry, every failure you've endured, they're not signs of defeat. They're proof you fought back. That's what people don't understand. The man who has suffered is the man who can handle anything because he's been through the fire and come out forged. Pain teaches discipline, humility, and gratitude. It reminds you that nothing valuable comes easy and that everything meaningful has a cost. There's beauty in pain if you learn to look at it differently. Instead of asking, why me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? That's where the shift happens. That's when you start using pain instead of letting it use you. Pain becomes a tool, a reminder that you're still alive, still capable, still fighting. When life gets difficult, don't curse the struggle. Thank it, because it's shaping you into the kind of man who can carry the weight others can't. Pain is how life separates the average from the exceptional. Most will quit. Few will endure. And those who endure become unstoppable. The truth is, power isn't handed to you, it's earned through pain. Every challenge you face, every setback you survive, adds a layer of strength to your soul. You stop fearing failure because you've already felt it and learned from it. You stop fearing loss because you've rebuilt yourself before. You stop fearing the unknown because you trust your ability to overcome. That's what pain gives you: unshakable confidence, not built on comfort, but on conquest. Pain is not punishment. It's preparation for the greatness waiting for you to claim it. Every man wants respect. Every man wants to feel important. But respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn by being the man people can count on. When everything falls apart, when chaos hits, when everyone else starts panicking, you're the one who stays calm, who takes control, who leads. That's what true masculinity is. It's not about muscles or money or flashy cars. It's about reliability. It's about being the rock when everyone else crumbles. Because no one remembers the loudest man in the room. They remember the one who never broke under pressure. When your family looks at you, when your woman looks at you, When your friends look at you, they should see stability. They should see strength. They should know that no matter what happens, you'll find a way to handle it. That's what separates men from boys. Boys react, men respond. Boys make excuses, men make moves. Boys need help, men provide it. You want to be respected, be reliable. You want to be loved deeply, be consistent. You want to be irreplaceable, be the man they can count on when life gets ugly. In today's world, everyone wants to look strong, but very few actually are. They post quotes about being warriors, about grinding, about loyalty, but when things get hard, they disappear. Strength isn't built online, it's built in silence, through your actions, through your ability to keep showing up. The man who can't be broken by stress, who keeps his word no matter what, who protects and provides, that's the man the world needs more of. Because everyone can talk when life is easy, but real men prove themselves when life is chaos. You have to understand something, people need you to be strong. Your woman doesn't want a man who collapses under pressure. Your family doesn't want a man who blames the world. They need a man who looks at the storm and says, I got this. They need a man who makes them feel safe, not because he says it, but because he shows it. That kind of strength doesn't come from luck. It comes from discipline, from responsibility, from pain. It's built in moments of struggle when no one is watching. That's where reliability is forged, not in comfort, but in challenge. Being the man they can count on means you stop being emotionally unpredictable. You stop allowing your feelings to control your behavior. You become centered, grounded, unshakable. People should know that when you give your word, it means something. That if you say you'll do something, it gets done. That no matter how tired, how stressed, how busy you are, your word stands. That's power, that's integrity. And it's rare because most men quit when it's inconvenient. But the man who keeps his word when it costs him, that's the man who earns respect that lasts a lifetime. When you live this way, everything changes. You stop chasing validation because your confidence comes from results. You don't need to prove yourself because your actions speak louder than anything you could say. You move with purpose, with calm authority. People listen when you speak because they've seen what you've done. You become the type of man that inspires others to do better, not because you preach, but because you lead by example. The truth is, being dependable is rare today because it requires sacrifice. It means putting others before yourself sometimes. It means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means staying composed when everyone else is losing control. It's not easy, but nothing valuable ever is. And when you become that kind of man, your presence changes everything around you. Your family feels safer. Your woman feels secure. Your friends trust your word. People follow your lead because they know you don't crumble under pressure. You can't call yourself a man if people can't depend on you. That's the harsh truth. Being a man isn't about dominance, it's about dependability. The man they can count on doesn't complain, doesn't panic, doesn't quit. He observes, he plans, he executes. He carries the weight no one else can handle because he's built for it. And that's what makes him valuable. When everyone else is emotional, he's rational. When everyone else is scared, he's calm. When everyone else runs, he steps forward. Becoming that man doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, one made of hard days, of sacrifices, of choices that test your limits. But the reward is unmatched. Because once people realize you're that man, the one who gets things done, who never breaks his word, who doesn't fold under pressure, they'll look at you differently. Not because you asked for respect, but because you earned it. They'll trust you. They'll rely on you. They'll follow you. And in a world full of talkers, you'll be the one who acts. You'll be the one who carries the weight, not because you have to, but because that's who you are, the man they can count on.